Welcome back to Eden Stories. We're so glad you're here again. Today, we continue to explore powerful stories of faith, patience, and God's perfect timing, just like Ethan's journey. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that inspires, encourages, and strengthens your walk with God. Thank you for joining us again. Your support and encouragement mean the world. Let's dive in and discover how trusting God's timing can change everything. Sometimes life feels slow. Too slow. You pray, you plan, you hope, but nothing seems to change. Yet every delay has a purpose. God is never late, even when the waiting feels long. This is the story of Ethan, a man who discovered that God's timing may not match our expectations, but it is always perfect.
I've prayed, Sophia. I've prayed until the words started to feel empty. I've applied for jobs until my fingers were numb. I've volunteered, I've served in church, I've helped people even when I was drained. Yet nothing. Nothing seems to be changing. It feels like I'm just stuck in the same place while everyone else moves ahead. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of believing for something that isn't showing up.
Ethan, I know this season feels heavy. I know you are exhausted from holding on when it looks like there is nothing left to hold. But waiting doesn't mean you've been forgotten. God hasn't overlooked you, and He hasn't abandoned you in this process.
But Sophia, what if I'm just wasting time? What if I've misunderstood God? What if what I'm waiting for is never coming? Sometimes it feels like God is silent, and I don't know what He wants me to do anymore. Everyone tells me to trust the process, but honestly, the process is breaking me.
Ethan, God's silence is not His absence. You may not see what He is doing behind the scenes, but He is preparing something bigger than your current understanding. Sometimes God takes His time, because He's shaping you for a door you're not ready to walk through yet. And when it finally opens, you will look back and realize that every tear, every disappointment, every unanswered prayer was not wasted.
But why does it have to hurt so much?
Because growth hurts. Preparation hurts. Even Jesus had moments where He felt alone. But God was with Him every step of the way. Ethan, waiting is not punishment, it is positioning. You are not being delayed. You are being aligned. The same God who opened the Red Sea, who brought water out of a rock, who raised the dead, that same God is working on your behalf. Don't let temporary silence make you doubt permanent love.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I just need strength to hold on a little longer.
And God will give you that strength. You don't have to figure everything out today. Just take one more step. Keep trusting. God is writing something bigger than you can see. And when it unfolds, the waiting will make sense. Ethan, can I remind you of something powerful? You know what Isaiah 60 verse 22 says, right? It says, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Not when we think it's right. Not when we feel ready. Not when we are tired of waiting. God says when the time is right. And when God speaks like that, it means no delay, no obstacle, no rejection, and no season of silence can stop what He has already prepared for your life. Don't lose hope, Ethan. God's timing is not human timing. He sees the full picture, even when you're only looking at a single frame of your story.
I hear you, Sophia. I really do. And I want to believe that verse with all my heart. I want to trust that God has a perfect time set for everything I am waiting for. But it's hard. It's hard waking up every day and seeing no change. It's hard feeling like everyone else is getting their breakthrough while I'm still stuck in the waiting room. It's hard to hold on to hope when the days feel long and the nights feel even longer.
I know it's hard, Ethan. Waiting has never been easy for anyone. Even the strongest people in the Bible had moments where they struggled to believe. Abraham waited 25 years for a promise. Joseph waited 13 years in hardship before his dream came to pass. David waited years before he became king. Yet not one of them was forgotten. Not one of them was abandoned. God wrote their stories with precision, purpose, and perfect timing. And Ethan, the same God who kept his word to them has not changed. He will keep his word to you too.
But what if my story is different? What if I'm waiting for something that's not even meant for me?
That's the enemy's whisper, Ethan, planting doubt so you'll give up right before God's breakthrough comes. Listen, God doesn't tease his children with false hope. If he placed a desire in your heart, if he led you to pray for something, if he allowed you to dream about a future, then he has a purpose behind it. You may not see the path right now, but God is guiding your steps even in the silence. Your story is not forgotten, it's unfolding.
I want to believe that God is still working, even when I can't see anything changing.
And he is, Ethan. Just like you can't see seeds growing under the soil, but they're growing anyway, God is growing something in your life that will bloom at the right time. Trust his timing, not your timeline. When the time is right, God himself, the creator of time, will make it happen so beautifully that you'll know it was him and not your effort.
Maybe. Just maybe. The waiting isn't as empty as it feels.
It's not empty, Ethan. It's preparation. And God never wastes preparation.
Ethan, listen to me carefully. What you're facing right now, this season of waiting, this season of silence, this season where it feels like doors are refusing to open, it's not punishment. It's preparation. God is not trying to hurt you, he's shaping you. Before God elevates a man, he prepares his heart. Before he gives responsibility, he builds character. What you see as delay, God sees as development.
Preparation. But preparation for what, sir? Because honestly, I feel like I've been preparing forever. I've followed advice, I've prayed, I've humbled myself, I've waited. And I still feel stuck. I don't understand what all this is supposed to lead to.
Ethan, preparation is rarely clear when you're going through it. Think about Joseph. He didn't understand why he had to be betrayed by his brothers, thrown in a pit, sold as a slave, and locked in a prison. But every stage was preparing him for a position he never imagined, second in command in Egypt. If God had allowed Joseph to skip the painful stages, he would not have been strong enough or wise enough to handle the palace. Preparation protects you from stepping into blessings you're not ready to carry.
But sir, it's hard. It's hard to keep believing that something good is coming when day after day looks exactly the same. It's hard to keep trusting God's plan when nothing seems to be moving forward. Sometimes it feels like I'm watching everyone else grow, everyone else succeed, everyone else find their purpose, while I'm stuck waiting for something I can't even see.
I understand, Ethan. Waiting can feel like the hardest form of faith. But the process you're rushing to escape is the very process God is using to prepare you. The life God designed for you is bigger than the one you're trying to run into. You're asking God for an open door, but God is strengthening you so that when the door finally opens, it won't crush you. You're asking for speed, but God is giving you stability. You want immediate results, but God wants lasting impact.
So you're saying God is slowing me down on purpose?
Yes, Ethan. God slows us down when the destination is greater than the journey we expected. He slows us down when we're carrying things we need to drop. He slows us down when he wants to teach us patience, resilience, discipline, and wisdom. These are not punishments, they are tools. Tools that will sustain you when God finally brings you into the life he has designed for you.
And what kind of life is that, sir?
The life where your character matches your calling. The life where you are not just successful, but spiritually grounded. The life where you can handle blessings without losing your humility. The life where you shine without breaking. That is the life God is preparing you for. Not the life you're rushing into out of frustration or comparison, but the life he crafted with your name on it before you were born.
I never thought of it that way. Maybe. Maybe God is doing more than I realize.
He absolutely is, Ethan. God's preparation might feel uncomfortable, but it is purposeful. And when the time comes, everything you've endured will make sense. Ethan, let me tell you something many people overlook. When God slows you down, He's not trying to frustrate you, He is protecting you. Protecting you from places you're not ready for. Protecting you from opportunities that would overwhelm you. Protecting you from responsibilities that look attractive but would crush you because the foundation isn't strong enough yet. Sometimes the greatest blessing God gives us is not an open door, but a closed one. Delay is often God's shield.
So, you're saying my waiting season isn't a sign that God is ignoring me or that I'm doing something wrong? You're telling me it's not punishment, but protection?
Yes, Ethan, your waiting season has a purpose, a divine one. It may feel slow, frustrating, or even unfair at times, but God doesn't waste seasons. Every moment He allows in your life is intentional. In the waiting, He strengthens your patience. In the waiting, He builds your faith. In the waiting, He breaks unhealthy patterns. In the waiting, He matures your character. And in the waiting, He prepares your heart so that when you finally receive what you've been praying for, you'll appreciate it deeply and manage it wisely.
I never saw it that way. I kept thinking I was failing. That maybe God didn't want to bless me. But hearing you speak, it makes me wonder if God is actually doing something behind the scenes that I can't see yet.
Ethan, God is always doing something behind the scenes. He specializes in the unseen. Just because you can't see movement doesn't mean there's no progress. Think about a seed in the soil. You don't see anything happening, but the roots are forming. The seed is strengthening. The foundation is being built. The preparation happens underground long before the growth becomes visible. Your life is in that hidden stage. God is building your roots.
So, every season God gives us a purpose? Even the painful ones? Even the confusing ones? Even the silent ones?
Every single one, Ethan. God wastes nothing. The joyful seasons sharpen your gratitude. The painful seasons build your strength. The silent seasons test your faith. The waiting seasons shape your patience. And the dark seasons teach you to trust Him even when you can't trace Him. God is not random. Every season is a classroom, and every classroom has a lesson that prepares you for your destiny.
It's comforting to know that God is intentional, even when it doesn't feel like it.
And He is, Ethan. Trust Him. Lean into this season instead of fighting it. Because when God finally shifts you into the next chapter, you'll walk into it with strength, wisdom, humility, and clarity, qualities that only seasons like this can produce.
Ethan, I hope you don't mind. I couldn't help but overhear a little of what you and Pastor Collins were talking about. I just wanted to let you know. I went through the same thing. The waiting, the frustration, the sleepless nights wondering if God was listening. I know exactly how it feels.
You? Grace. But you're doing great now. You have a stable job, your life looks so put together, and everyone sees you as someone who has everything figured out. I never would have guessed that you struggled with something like this.
That's the thing, Ethan. People only see the results, they don't see the journey. They see the blessings, but they don't see the battles it took to get there. Before I got the job I have now, I faced rejection after rejection. I prayed and nothing changed. I cried myself to sleep asking God why He was silent. There were days I thought God had passed me by. I felt forgotten. But I wasn't. God was working on me even when I didn't see it.
So how did you get through it? What helped you hold on when everything felt so discouraging?
I learned something powerful, Ethan. Trusting God's timing is not weakness, it's strength. I had to surrender my deadlines, my impatience, my fears, and even my own plans. I realized that faith isn't proven when everything is going well. Faith is proven when you are waiting. And nothing makes sense. When I finally stopped trying to force things and truly handed everything over to God, something shifted in my heart. Not immediately in my situation, but in me.
What changed in you?
I stopped seeing waiting as punishment. I started seeing it as preparation. I began to understand that God wasn't making me wait because I was unworthy. He was making me wait because He was preparing a blessing that matched the future He designed for me. I learned patience, endurance, contentment, and trust. And when the right door opened, it opened in a way that left no doubt it was God.
So, the reason you're doing so well now is because you trusted God's timing?
Yes, Ethan. Everything I have today, the job, the stability, the peace in my heart, it's all because I stopped rushing God. I learned to rest in Him. And when the time was right, just like Isaiah 60:22 says, God made it happen. Not by my strength, but by His timing.
Hearing your story makes me feel less alone. Maybe there really is purpose in this waiting season.
There is, Ethan. And if God did it for me, He will do it for you. Trust His timing. It never fails. Grace's flashback. Grace waited 2 long years for a breakthrough, 2 years of praying with no visible change, 2 years of believing while battling doubt, 2 years of waking up every morning hoping that this would be the day everything shifted. But the days passed, and the answers did not come as quickly as she expected. There were days when her heart grew weary, when she wondered if God had forgotten her, when she sat on this very bench questioning her worth, her purpose, and her future. But even in her silent pain, she kept praying. She kept believing. She kept holding on to hope, even when that hope felt fragile. Lord, I don't understand why things are taking so long. I don't know why door after door keeps closing. But please, give me strength to wait. Help me trust You, even when I can't see what You're doing. You see, Grace didn't know it then. But every tear she cried watered the soil of her destiny. Every unanswered prayer was shaping her faith. Every delay was building her resilience. God was not ignoring her, He was preparing her. And when the time was right, when Grace was ready, when her heart was steady, when her foundation was strong, God opened the right door. Not just any door, but the door He designed specifically for her. A door that no man could shut. Her waiting was not wasted. Her prayers were not ignored. Her tears were not forgotten. God was simply preparing her for a breakthrough that would come at the perfect time.
What if all this time I thought God was silent, but He was actually shaping me? What if the quiet seasons weren't God abandoning me, but God preparing me? For so long, I assumed delay meant rejection. I assumed silence meant distance. I assumed waiting meant I wasn't good enough, or maybe I wasn't praying hard enough. But listening to Pastor Collins, hearing Grace's story, something inside me is starting to shift. What if God wasn't punishing me, but protecting me? Protecting me from rushing into doors I wasn't ready for. Protecting me from opportunities I wasn't mature enough to handle. Protecting me from mistakes that could have damaged my future. Maybe the waiting wasn't a prison. Maybe it was a classroom. A place where God teaches patience, trust, and surrender. I've been so frustrated, so discouraged. Feeling left behind. Watching others succeed while I stayed in the same place. But maybe, just maybe, I wasn't in the same place after all. Maybe something was happening inside me, something I didn't even notice. God might have been building strength in me, shaping my character, teaching me to depend on Him instead of my own plans. What if the very thing I've been complaining about is the very thing God is using to prepare me for the future I've been praying for? What if the silence was God working quietly behind the scenes? What if the waiting was God aligning things I can't see yet? I never imagined that waiting could be part of God's love for me. But now, it makes sense. God wasn't delaying my life. He was developing me. And maybe, for the first time, I'm beginning to understand that His timing isn't late. It's perfect.
Morning, Ethan. You're up early today. You look different. Lighter, somehow. What's on your mind?
Sophia, I've been thinking a lot since yesterday. I've replayed every word Pastor Collins said, every part of Grace's story, and all those moments where I felt like God was silent or distant. They suddenly look different now. I realize I've been fighting God's timing without even knowing it. Trying to control what only He can orchestrate. For so long, I pushed, stressed, worried, and doubted. Thinking I had to make everything happen on my own.
I'm listening, Ethan.
Sophia, I'm tired. Not the kind of tired sleep can fix, the kind that comes from trying to outrun God's process. I'm tired of questioning Him. Tired of comparing myself to others. Tired of assuming He's late when He's actually right on time. I need to trust Him fully. Not halfway. Not just when things look good. I want to rest in His timing, even when it doesn't match mine.
Ethan. That right there. That is the beginning of peace. True peace doesn't come from getting answers or seeing results. It comes from surrender, from finally letting go of the weight you were never meant to carry. Trusting God fully is not weakness. It's the strongest thing a person can do.
I used to think trusting God meant I would lose control of my life. But now I realize I never had control to begin with. I was just holding on tightly to my fears. But today, I want to choose differently. I want to trust that God knows what I need better than I do. I want to believe that His timeline isn't delayed. It's deliberate.
And He sees this moment, Ethan, this decision, this surrender, and He honors it. You may not see immediate changes, but something already shifted inside you. When the heart lets go and God takes over, peace fills the empty spaces fear used to occupy. This is where healing begins. This is where clarity begins. This is where your journey becomes less about striving and more about trusting.
I can feel it already. A little peace. Just a little. But it's the first peace I've felt in a long time.
And it will grow, Ethan. Day by day. Step by step. God meets us in every surrendered moment. This, she gestures around them softly, this is your turning point.
A company emailed me. They want to schedule an interview. They actually want to meet with me.
Ethan. Do you see that? This is exactly what I was telling you. The moment you finally surrendered your fears, doubts, and impatience, God moved. Not a minute too early, not a minute too late. Right at the perfect time, the door began to open.
I don't even know what to say. I've been praying for this for months. And now it's finally happening. It feels surreal. I've waited so long, and now. It's like God has been preparing me all along, even when I didn't understand it.
Exactly, Ethan. This is how God works. He doesn't always move when we want Him to, and He doesn't always answer how we expect. Sometimes He's shaping us, sometimes He's protecting us, and sometimes He's simply teaching us patience and trust. Your breakthrough isn't just about the interview. It's about what's happening in your heart, the surrender, the faith, the trust. God sees all of it, and now He's responding.
So all those months of waiting. All the rejections, the prayers that felt unanswered. They weren't wasted. They were preparing me for this. For the right opportunity at the right time.
Yes, Ethan. Every delay, every closed door, every moment of silence, it was all shaping the man who could step into this next season with faith, confidence, and wisdom. You didn't just get an interview. You gained perspective, strength, and understanding of God's perfect timing.
I think I finally get it. God's timing isn't late. It's perfect. And this moment, is proof.
And it's just the beginning, Ethan. Keep trusting, keep surrendering, and keep walking in His timing. The best is yet to come.
I don't know if I'll get this job, Sophia. What if I stumble during the interview? What if I say the wrong thing, or don't seem confident enough? What if all the waiting and preparation isn't enough?
Ethan. Those doubts are normal, but you have to remember what you've learned. All this waiting, all the preparation, every moment of surrender, it's not for nothing. You've already walked through the hardest part, learning to trust God's timing. Now, you walk in with faith, not fear. Faith over fear. Remember that.
But it's hard, Sophia. My mind keeps racing with what ifs. I want to trust, I really do. But part of me wants to control everything, to prepare every possible answer, to anticipate every scenario. And yet, I know God wants me to step in with faith, not fear.
Exactly. Preparation is important, you've done your part. But don't let fear take over. Fear focuses on what might happen. Faith focuses on what God will do. Walk in believing that God is already in the room with you. Walk in knowing that your worth isn't measured by the outcome, but by the courage and trust you carry. The fact that you are walking in faith, even when you feel uncertain, already shows strength.
You're right. I can't control the outcome. I can only control my heart, my mindset, and my trust in God. So, I'll walk in with faith. I'll pray, I'll answer honestly, and I'll trust God with the result. Even if it doesn't go perfectly, I know He's still in control.
That's the spirit, Ethan. That's exactly what God wants: obedience, trust, and faith in action. The outcome is His, but the courage is showing stepping forward. That is yours. Let God handle the rest.
Okay. Faith over fear. I can do this.
Yes. And remember, every step you take in faith is a step closer to the life God has been preparing for you all along.
Ethan, tell us about yourself. We want to understand who you are beyond your resume. Thank you for asking. I've learned that life is rarely a straight path. I've been through seasons that taught me patience, resilience, and consistency. Seasons where I applied for opportunities that didn't work out. Where I faced rejection. Where I wondered if my efforts were enough. But those seasons weren't wasted. They taught me to trust the process, to rely on more than just my own understanding, and to grow through challenges instead of letting them define me. I've learned to work hard, to be persistent, and to remain steady even when results aren't immediate. And through all of that, I've learned that preparation is just as important as opportunity. I've learned that integrity, faithfulness, and perseverance are qualities that shape a person more than titles or positions ever could. Today, I'm ready for what's next, not just for myself, but for the responsibilities and opportunities I know God has been preparing me for. I'm ready to bring my best, to grow, and to contribute meaningfully, knowing that every step of my journey has led me here. Thank you, Ethan. That's a very thoughtful and inspiring answer. Here I am. Waiting again. Just like before. But somehow, it feels different this time. I'm not anxious, not restless. I'm not trying to rush what I can't control. I'm just here, at peace. And I can't tell you how strange and freeing that feels. It's like my heart has finally caught up with my faith. I'm learning to trust God's timing even when I don't know what comes next.
Ethan. That's growth. That's real growth. Waiting has a way of revealing who we truly are inside. The first time, waiting might have felt like torment. The second time, maybe frustration. But now, waiting with peace shows that your trust in God isn't just words, it's lived out in your heart. You've learned to rest in His timing instead of running ahead, trying to force things.
You know, I always thought waiting meant being stuck. Like I was missing something, like God was late. But grace, now I see. Waiting can be active. It can be a season of reflection, growth, and preparation. I'm not idle. I'm learning, I'm strengthening, I'm becoming the person God wants me to be before He opens the next door. And it feels good. Peaceful.
Yes, Ethan. That's the difference between waiting in fear and waiting in faith. Fearful waiting drains your soul. Faithful waiting strengthens it. You are no longer waiting to survive or to see results. You are waiting to walk in alignment with God's perfect plan. That is a rare place to be. Most people never reach it.
I never thought I'd feel this way. Usually, waiting fills me with worry, doubt, and impatience. But today I'm just trusting. Waiting doesn't feel like punishment anymore. It feels like preparation. And I think I'm finally ready for whatever comes next.
That's exactly right, Ethan. Peace in the waiting is proof that you are growing spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. You've learned to let go and let God lead. That is a victory in itself, even before the outcome comes. Ethan receives a notification and he unlocks his phone and reads an email. His eyes widen slightly, then settle in calm acceptance.
I didn't get the job. They said they went with another candidate. I won't lie, my first thought was disappointment. I felt a little sting of why not me? But strangely, I feel okay. More than okay, actually. I think God is reminding me that this isn't the end. This was just one door. And if this door didn't open, it must be because He has something better prepared for me. Something I can't see yet, but that will fit perfectly into the plan He has for my life.
Ethan, I'm proud of you. Truly proud. Most people would have crumbled, let frustration or doubt take over. But you're handling this with faith. You're choosing to trust God's plan instead of questioning it. That's not easy. That's not natural. But it's exactly what God honors, surrendering your disappointment, holding on to hope, and believing He knows what's best.
You're right. I could sit here and feel sorry for myself. But I've learned that every season has a purpose. Even this rejection. Even this no. It's a part of shaping me, preparing me, and protecting me from something I'm not ready for yet. I've been impatient for so long, trying to rush things, trying to control outcomes. But now I see that God's plan is bigger than any single opportunity, and His timing is perfect.
And that's the spirit, Ethan. This is how faith grows, not when everything goes your way, but when you choose to trust God even in disappointment. You are not failing. You are learning, you are growing, and you are walking in alignment with His timing. The best is still ahead.
You know, it actually feels lighter than I expected. The weight of what if is gone. I don't know what's next, but I trust that God does. I trust that He's preparing the right door. And I'm ready to walk through it when it opens.
That's exactly the heart God wants, ready, patient, and trusting. This isn't the end, Ethan. This is a stepping stone to something far greater.
Ethan. I know you've been through a lot lately. Waiting, hoping, praying. And then facing that disappointment with the job. I want you to remember something very important. God sometimes closes doors that seem good. Not to punish you, but to lead you to the right door. A door that fits perfectly with the plans He has for your life. Sometimes, what we think is a setback is actually God's redirection.
You mean the rejection isn't the end of the story? It's just part of the journey?
Yes, exactly. I've been there, Ethan. I know how it feels when everything seems to fall apart, when it seems like your prayers aren't being answered. But sometimes, God is protecting you from something you don't even realize isn't right for you. He's preparing you for something bigger, something better. Something that aligns perfectly with who you are and the purpose He's designed for you.
Then, I guess that means I just have to keep walking. Keep trusting. Keep believing that the right door will open at the right time. Even if it takes longer than I expect.
Yes, Ethan. Keep walking. Keep praying. Keep trusting. The best part of God's timing is that it's perfect. Not early, not late, perfect. And every step you take in faith, every moment you choose trust over doubt, it's moving you closer to that door. The door He's been preparing specifically for you. And when the door opens, everything you've been waiting for will make sense.
I think I understand now. It's not about rushing, or forcing things to happen. It's about trusting that God knows exactly what I need and when I need it. If He closed this door, then it's because He has something better waiting for me.
That's exactly right. Trust the process. Walk in faith. And remember, your waiting is not wasted. Your prayers are not unheard. God's timing is perfect, and His plans are always greater than what we can see.
Then I'll keep walking, Grace. I'll keep trusting. And when the right door opens, I'll be ready.
Yes, Ethan. That's the heart of faith, walking forward, even when you don't see the entire path. Keep walking, keep trusting, and everything will fall into place.
Hello. Yes. Yes, I'm available to talk. Absolutely. I can come in for an interview at any time that works for you. Thank you so much for calling. I really appreciate the opportunity. Yes, I'll be there. I'll prepare thoroughly. And I'll be ready.
Just when Ethan thought it was over. Just when he had accepted disappointment and learned to trust God's timing. God was quietly preparing something bigger. A door he hadn't expected, a blessing he hadn't imagined, a moment that would remind him that faith is never in vain. Every step, every prayer, every season of waiting had led him here, to a new opportunity that was perfectly timed and divinely orchestrated.
So, this is it. The next step. I trust you, God. I'll walk through this door with faith, no matter what comes.
And in that moment, Ethan realized that waiting wasn't the end, it was the preparation. And when God's timing arrives, it arrives perfectly.
Ethan, we reviewed your interview carefully. Even though the initial position we had in mind has already been filled, your professionalism, your integrity, and the way you carry yourself stood out to us. We want to offer you a higher position, one with greater responsibility, more growth opportunities, and better alignment with your skills and experience. We truly believe this role is a perfect fit for you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't even know what to say. I've been through so many seasons of waiting and it feels surreal that this is happening. I can't believe it. I'm truly grateful. You earned it, Ethan. This isn't luck, this is the result of your patience, your perseverance, and the way you've handled every challenge with integrity. We saw someone who doesn't just wait for opportunity, but prepares for it, grows through it, and steps into it with maturity. That's rare, and that's why this position is right for you. I understand now. Every rejection, every closed door, every season of waiting. It was all part of the preparation. I realized that God's timing is never late, and His plan is always better than what I imagine. This opportunity feels like confirmation that patience and faith truly do yield results. Yes, Ethan. And we're confident you'll make the most of this role. Welcome aboard. We're excited to see what you'll accomplish. Thank you. I promise to give my very best. I will walk into this role with diligence, integrity, and faith. This isn't just a job, it's a new season. And I am ready to embrace it fully.
I told you, Ethan. God's timing is perfect. You didn't see it at the moment, but every delay, every closed door, every moment of waiting, it was all leading to this. And look at you now, stepping into exactly what He had prepared for you all along.
Yes, Ethan. You are walking in exactly what He prepared. Not just the job, but the growth, the wisdom, the patience, and the faith that make you ready for it. God didn't just give you an opportunity. He gave you the right opportunity, at the perfect time, in the perfect way. Everything you went through, it wasn't wasted.
Now I see. Now I really understand why He made me wait. I see why those rejections hurt so much, why the waiting seemed endless, why I questioned Him so many times. It wasn't to punish me. It wasn't to test me beyond my limits. It was to shape me, prepare me, and guide me into something far greater than I could have imagined. Every tear, every prayer, every moment of patience, it all led here.
And that's why celebrating this moment is so important. Not just for the job, but for the journey. You've learned to trust God fully. You've learned that patience isn't wasted and faith is never in vain. That's the real victory here.
Exactly. This is your testimony, Ethan. A story of trust, perseverance, and God's perfect timing. One day, people will hear your story and be encouraged to hold on, to wait faithfully, and to trust that God's plan is always greater than their expectations.
I feel it now. The peace, the clarity, the gratitude. I see why God made me wait. And I promise, I won't take this blessing lightly. I'll step into it with faith, with diligence, and with a heart ready to honor Him in everything I do.
Together they propose the toast.
To faith, to patience, and to God's perfect timing.
To the journey, the lessons, and the blessings yet to come.
To God, who never fails, and to trusting Him no matter the season.
Ethan, I want you to remember something very important as you step into this new season of your life. Life is full of doors opening and closing. Opportunities come and go. People may say yes or no, and circumstances may seem unfair at times. But you must always remember this: when it's God's time, no human hand can stop it. Nothing, no one, can prevent what He has ordained. And when it's not God's time, no human effort, no amount of pushing, striving, or worrying can force it to happen. That's the wisdom you carry from your journey.
I think I understand now, Pastor. I've spent so much time trying to make things happen on my own. Worrying about the timing, stressing over the rejections, questioning why doors stayed closed. But now I see. Those delays, those seasons of waiting, they weren't failures. They were lessons. They were shaping me to be ready for the right time, the right opportunity.
Exactly, Ethan. Waiting isn't wasted. Every closed door, every challenge, every season of patience has a purpose. God uses them to refine you, to strengthen your character, and to prepare your heart. It's not always easy to see in the moment, but when you look back, it all makes sense. That is faith in action, trusting God's timing, even when you don't understand it. That is the key to walking in peace and confidence, no matter what life brings.
Thank you, Pastor. I feel like I've finally learned what it means to trust God fully, to stop trying to control the outcome and to let Him lead every step. I see now that my waiting was not in vain, and that God's timing truly is perfect.
Ethan, never forget this. Patience, faith, and obedience will always position you for God's best. Doors will open, blessings will come, and your path will unfold, but only according to His perfect plan. Walk boldly, knowing He is with you, guiding every step. Your faithfulness in the small things prepares you for the greater things.
I understand, Pastor. I'll remember. I'll walk in faith, trust His timing, and give Him the glory in every season, every opportunity, and every blessing.
Good, Ethan. That heart, that faith, it will carry you far. Keep trusting, keep waiting when you must, and keep walking in the path God has prepared. The best is always ahead when you follow Him.
Sometimes, life feels slow. We apply, we pray, we hope. And yet the doors we expect to open remain closed. We wonder if God has forgotten us, or if our efforts are in vain. But delay is not denial. What feels like waiting is often preparation, a season where God shapes our hearts, refines our character, and strengthens our faith. When we surrender our schedules, our expectations, and our plans to Him, something remarkable happens. He aligns our steps with His perfect timing. He positions us exactly where we need to be. He protects us from opportunities we aren't ready for, and He prepares us for blessings far greater than we could imagine. The truth is, God sees the bigger picture. We see the closed doors, the rejections, the detours, but He sees the path that will lead us to exactly what we need, at exactly the right moment. The journey may test our patience, it may challenge our faith, but it also teaches us resilience, humility, and trust. And in the end, every delay becomes part of the masterpiece God is creating in our lives. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11 – He makes everything beautiful in its time. So hold on. Keep praying, keep trusting, and keep walking in faith. God's timing is never late. His plan is never wrong. And what He has prepared for you is worth every moment of waiting. Remember this, when you place your life fully in His hands, the doors that open will lead you exactly where you are meant to be. Thank you so much for watching. Your time, support, and encouragement mean the world. We hope Ethan's story reminded you that God's timing is perfect, and that patience, faith, and trust in Him are always rewarded. If this video inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more stories that uplift, encourage, and strengthen your faith. Your support helps us continue creating content that makes a difference. Remember, every season has a purpose, every delay is preparation, and God's plan is always worth trusting. Stay blessed.